Hey, welcome everybody. You're joining our 1979 New York Mets replay, and I have some interesting news. Anecdote. This is game 46 in our replay. In 1979, the Mets were 16, 28, and 1. They had a tie during the course of the first 46 games. In our replay, the Mets are 17 and 28. That's how precise the record is for our team at this point, which to me is mind bending. The only difference between their record, the actual record, and our record in the replay is one tie. The game that they tied, in reality, we actually won because, of course, my superior managerial skills, and that came into play. I was not there with the Mets at that time in '79. Joe Torre was. So anyway, that said, basically at this point the Mets were 16 and 28 and 1, and now in replay they're 17 and 28. That tie went to the win column, and that's the only difference. So here we are facing the Atlanta Braves and Eddie Solomon. Eddie Solomon has no wild pitches on his card. He has a 7 DP. That's something that comes into play a lot. We're not using the hole yet, but we will at some point. I'm going to figure out a way to use that. Fatigue is 7. Fielding is 2. And the batting is a 9. And I think we already pulled those cards. And he was 7 and 14 with a 4.21 ERA. And he will be facing Kevin Coble, who pitched 30 games for the Mets and started 27 of them with only one complete game. So he wasn't a guy that was going to go the distance for some reason. His fatigue factor is respectable at 7. So his one-loss record was 6 and 8 with a 3.51 ERA. So he's actually our second best pitcher after Swan. So we're going to get started, and we're going to start rolling the dice, and we're going to get this game going. Playing payoff pitch, and we're using fast action cards. 7, that's in play to Joel Youngblood, and that's going to be a base hit for Joel Youngblood. Youngblood on at first, and he has base stealing potential, and we're going to test that in a second. We need a 4 or less for him to go, and it's a 7. He does not. So Youngblood takes his lead off first. The pitch from Solomon to Frankie Taveras, a right-handed batter, is in play, snake eyes, and that's going to be a soft blooper into short left field. Runner on first is going to advance to second and stops there. So first and second, nobody out here in the first inning. Next, you got Lee Mazzilli batting from the left side. Now, Lee Mazzilli in our replay, I'll tell you what he's batting. Here I'm using, on my right, I'm using the iScore pad. And I showed in the last few streams, I've been showing it. Lee Mazzilli in our replay. For some reason, I'm looking at Doug Flynn. Hold on a second. I clicked on Mazzilli and it showed me Doug Flynn. That's weird. Okay, Lee Mazzilli is batting .365 in 178 at-bats. He's got 65 hits. So he's batting at a .365 clip. And here's the pitch to Mazzilli. That's a patient 94. That's going to be in the out range, and that's going to be fly to left field. And that's going to be out number 1. Both runners return to their bases, and it's Richie Hebner, lefty. And that's a patient 85. Again, Mets roll too high, out of range, and that's going to be a grounder to second base. A 4 is going to be double play on Solomon's card and a double play on Richie Hebner's card. So that's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. Hubbard to Frias to Horner, and the side's retired. Go to the bottom of the first. Atlanta Braves facing Kevin Coble, the lefty, as Jerry Royster. 6, and that's going to be a ground ball to the first baseman, Willie Montanez. 1 away. Gary Matthews next. Gary Matthews versus lefties batted .305. Hit five home runs and 167 at bats. And that's a ball that's in play. And that's popped up to the left side. Shortstop calling for it. Makes the catch. 2 down. And Bob Horner. And that's ballpark 53. Ballpark 53. He's a righty. It's going to be 1-88. So this Atlantic Fulton County Stadium is very, very friendly to right-handed batters. I'm just picking that up now. 1-88 is going to be wheelhouse. And a 58 is, or 53 is well within that range. So we're going to, we are going to roll for wheelhouse on Horner is against the lefties, 1-58. And that's a deep drive to right field. To left field. Back goes Steve Henderson to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. Bob Horner puts the Braves up 1-0. Crushes one. And Kevin Coble wishes he had that pitch back. Jeff Burrows now with 2 out. That's in play 92. And that's lined and caught by the shortstop, Taveras. But the Braves pick up 1 run on 1 hit and no errors. The home run by Bob Horner. And they lead it by a score of 1-0. We're at the top of the second. Here's Willie Montanez, first baseman for the Mets. And that's going to be a tough pitch, and that's lined. Base hit for Montanez. Montanez has a good tough column. Gets a lot of hits from there. It's really from 36 to 47, and we rolled a 42 as a hit against a righty in that column. We can check out what he's actually batting. I mean, batting .271. In reality, he batted about 235. Stevie Henderson with nobody out. And that's going to be a patient 89. It's out of range. It's a ground that is short. And Frias to Hubbard, back to first, double play. 6-4-3 double play. That's the second double play turned by Atlanta. 2 outs now. And it's John Stearns, catcher. And that's a fly ball to left field. Burrows back a few steps and makes the catch. Retires the side. Barry Bunnell steps in the box. He's a right-handed hitter against Kevin Coble. And that's a tough pitch. 68. Grounded to second. Flynn. 4-3, 1 away. Next is Glenn Hubbard, second baseman. And that's a tough 54. It's going to be lined. Base hit for Hubbard. Lines one to left. Henderson gets it in. And we're going to have to roll for Hubbard because he may run, and he's not. Not a very good base stealer, but he did run, got caught stealing 6 times, so he tried it. All right, it's Bruce Benedict, the catcher. 8th place batter. That's a patient, tennis patient 98. Patient 98 is outrange, and that's a fly to left, skied high. Pop fly, and Henderson makes the catch. And it's Pepe Frias. Frias batted versus lefties 293. Here's the pitch and 140 at bats. And that's in play 35. In play 35 is going to be a ground ball to the first baseman, Montanez. takes it himself, and that retires the side. Nine. Doug Flynn, our batter right now. Now, Doug Flynn, I'm going to touch on his screen name, and he's batting 197. He does have 23 RBIs in 150 at-bats, which is pretty good for an 8th place batter. So he's been clutch at times. Here's a pitch from Eddie Solomon, and that's a tough 16. That's a strikeout. Flynn down on strikes. Now it's the pitcher with the pitcher hitting card 9, Coble. And that's in play, 0-0. We're going to pull out the rare play chart that we picked up off of the internet, off of the Sideline Strategies site on Delphi. And that's a 55. 55 is going to be batter strikes out, roll 2d6. And that's a 6. 2-7, batter ejected for arguing the call. And 8-12, batters humbled. So we're gonna bypass that call, and we're gonna go to another call because we're playing actual lineups, and I'm not doing that. That throws up my whole scheme of things. Batter pulls a muscle on a hard swing, minor injury, but must leave game. Okay. Let's try rolling again. Kevin Coble. Well, actually, nobody's on, so Kevin Coble, and that's patient 83. That's an outrange. Grounded is short. Pepe Frias fires to first and gets Coble. 2 down. And it's Joe Youngblood. Pitch from Eddie Solomon. That's a patient 13. It's going to be a base on balls. And Youngblood can be a threat to steal. And that's a 6, so that doesn't work. Here's the pitch from Solomon. That's a tough 97 is lifted to left field. Jeff Burrows towards the line and makes a nice catch. That was a 9, tough 97. And that retires his side. Okay. It's going to be Eddie Solomon. Eddie Solomon coming to bat. He's also a 9 pitcher hitting card. Payoff Pitch has pitcher hitting cards. They also have some pitcher batting cards. I'm not a big fan of the pitcher batting cards, but when they're around, I use them. All right. And we're just putting in Eddie Solomon into the... All right, here goes. Pitch to Solomon. And that's a 5. Ballpark 97, so that's going to be in play. In play 99, and that's going to be flight out to left field. Henderson makes the catch, 1 down. Coble now to Jerry Royster. Royster's 0 for 1. He's grounded out. And that's a patient 08, or I'm sorry, patient 80. Patient 80 is going to be a pop-up to Tavares, calling for it. Makes the catch. 2 down. And Gary Matthews. Matthews 0 for 1. Matthews batted 305 against lefties. That's an 8 in play, 59. In play 59 is easy out range. It has to be popped up to the left side, and back goes Hebner, and in comes Henderson, and no. Hebner comes up with the catch and gets out of the way just in time to avoid a collision. And that retires the side. The Mets averted disaster there. Their highest paid player at $200,000 a year is uh, Richie Hebner. Lee Mazzilli steps in the box, batting from the left side. The pitch from Solomon. It's a tough 37. Tough 37 is going to be a ball pulled down the line into the corner. Gary Matthews after it. Mazzilli hustling around first. Here's the throw to second, and he's safe under the tag. So it's a leadoff double for Maz. Richie Hebner coming up. Pitch from Solomon. That's ballpark 41. It's going to be Wheelhouse. Wheelhouse against a righties, 1-22, and that ball's out of here. That's a deep drive to right field. Back goes Matthews to the track, to the wall. Looks up. It's out of here. 2-1 Mets. Up comes Willie Montanez. He's 1 for 1. He singled in his first at bat. Here's the pitch from Solomon. It's patient 93. Lined and caught by the second baseman, Glenn Hubbard, for out number 1. 2-run homer. Put the Mets up 2-1. Richie Hebner got a hold of one of Solomon's fastballs and put it into the right field seats. Here's Steve Henderson, who's 0 for 1. That's in play, 80. That's popped up center field. Back goes Frias. In comes Bunnell. Bunnell with the catch. Barry Bunnell in center field for the Braves. And it's John Stearns. Stearns is 0 for 1. He's flied out. And that's in play, 0-2. And that's going to be lined into the corner. And Burrows, after it, gets it in quickly. But Stearns is on second with a 2-out double. And Doug Flynn now. Here's the pitch to Flynn. That's tough. A tough 31. No wild pitch there. So a tough 31 against a righty. It's going to be sharp liner. Drops in front of left fielder Burrows. They're giving a question mark on whether the runner on second advances. So we're going to check that out right now. We're going to take a look at Burrows' arm. Burrows is an 8 arm, so we're going to try to score on that. Going to roll. Stearns, I believe, is a 7, and he is. So it's 7 or less on 2d6, and he scores. 8 or more on 2d6, he's out. Here's the throw from Burrows to the plate. They're waving Stearns home, and he is safe under the tag. And on odds, Flynn takes second on the throw home, and he does not. So Flynn headed towards second, turned around, and the catcher got it over there quickly to stop Flynn. So it's going to be an RBI single for Doug Flynn, scoring John Stearns from second base. Jeff Burrows' throw not nearly in time. And there's 2 outs. Kevin Coble, the batter. Doug Flynn is at first. Let's see if Flynn goes. He does not. I know for Flynn to go, he's got to have a crazy low number. Flynn is, he would need snake eyes to even go. He's old. No stolen bases and 3 caught stealing. All right, so Coble's up. He's a 9-pitcher hitting card. That's a tough 70. It's going to be a strikeout. Coble down on strikes, and that retires the side. Mets up 3-1. Here's the pitch from Coble to Horner. Horner homered. And that's a patient 68. And that ball is grounded to second. Flynn, 4-3. 1 down. Jeff Burrows now. That's a 10. That's patient 29. A patient 29 is a base on ball. So Burrows manages a walk. Take a little quick drink here. It's 1 out. Bottom of the 4th. Jeff Burrows on at first and Barry Bonnell, the batter. Now, Slowly but surely, I pick up different cards and I find a sleeve. I use the sleeves from Ultra Pro. They're for the baseball cards. And I'll put a guy like Jeff Burrows in a sleeve to keep them fresh. Barry Bonnell. Here's the pitch from Coble, the southpaw. And that's an 8. That's in play 39. And in play 39 against the lefties outrange. Grounded to third. This could be a double play. It is there, and it is there. It's a 3-6-3 double play. The Mets are out of the inning. Beautiful double play started by Montanez to Taveras and back to Montanez. We go to the top of the 5th inning. It's Eddie Solomon, who needs to be in a sleeve because he's a pitcher and we handle him every inning. And it's Joe Youngblood. Here's the pitch to Youngblood. And that's ballpark. A ballpark 66 is going to be wheelhouse. Wheelhouse versus righties 1-22. And oh, that's right. Misses the range by a few points. 26. And that's going to be line into the corner. And that's going to be Jeff Burrows after it. Youngblood around first. Slides into second under the tag. Safe with a leadoff double. So Youngblood on its second, and Taveras now. We're going to get him over to third. We're going to bunt. And Taveras, not a great bunter for the type of guy that he is, kind of a punch and Judy hitter with good speed. He's a D bunter, and we look, it's a sacrifice hit, successful to the pitcher. So it's Eddie Solomon. Throws out Taveras, but Youngblood moves to third. So now the Mets have a runner in scoring position here in the top of the 5th, leading 3-1. They can add an insurance run. So the Braves, the Braves are going to play the infield in simply because it is 3-1 and they don't want to give that run away. So it's going to be Lee Mazzilli at the plate. Here's the pitch. Infield is in. We're looking at this chart. But bases are not loaded. That's a 4. Patient 21. A patient 21 is a base on balls. So runners on first and third now. And Mazzilli is always a threat to steal. And let's see what happens. We need a 5. We roll a 7, so he does not go. Infield is still in. Actually, now they're going to move back. There's a potential for a double play. So Richie Hebner's 1 for 2. He's grounded out and homered. Here's the pitch to Hebner. And that's a 9. That's tough. A tough 35. Let's see what that is. Against a righty. Tough 35 is going to be a sharp liner into center field. And that's going to score Youngblood. Mazzilli is going to hustle over to third. And that's an RBI. Mazzilli is going to stop at second. Excuse me. Thought about it, but then went back. So it's an RBI single. And then Mazzilli stops at second. So you have first and second now with 1 out. And it's Willie Montanez. Pitch to Montanez. Defense 86. That, I believe, is going to be out of range, and it is. It's going to be a ground ball. Well, maybe a ground ball. Let's see what it is, what kind of out it is. It's popped out. Popped up in the infield, and Jerry Royster into foul ground. Calls it, makes the catch. 2 down. And it's Steve Henderson who's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch from Solomon to Henderson, and that's a 7. In play 54. In play 54 is an outrange, and that's a grounded to third. And Royster's going to step on the bag. And that's all she wrote. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Coble versus Hubbard. Hubbard's 1 for 1. It's a 4. Patient 22. And that's going to be line base hit. Hubbard 2 for 2 now. So Hubbard is at first. And now we're going to get the catcher, Benedict. Here's the pitch. That's 8 in play, 16. And in play 16 against a lefty. Barely a single. Runner advances 2 bases over to third is Hubbard. First and third. There's action in the Met bullpen now. And it's Pepe Frias. Here's the pitch to Pepe Frias. That's 5. Ballpark 10. That's going to be wheelhouse. And that's a 13 versus a lefty. That's going to be a single, so it's an RBI single. 3-2 now. Line drive into left. Runner on first. Advances 2 bases. Still nobody out here. Single. And Hubbard scores. And hustling over the third is Benedict. So Frias with an RBI single. And it's Jerry Royster. Well, no, excuse me. It's Eddie Solomon. Eddie Solomon is a 9-pitcher batting card. Mets are forced to, they got to keep that infield back. They're going to give up the tying run. It's still early. In play 81. In play 81. And that's going to be grounded to short. If Benedict is a 7, he'll score, and he is not. It's going to be a 6-3. And it's Jerry Royster. Here's the pitch from Coble. 7, tough 92. That's going to be outrange. It's going to be fly ball, left field. And Henderson, hey, who's that? Can't see, man. Can't see squat who that is. Between the lights. No. Anyway. That was tough. 92. What did we say that was? That was a fly to left. And the side's retired. Oh no, the side's not retired. Hold on a second. Let me back up. Let me back up. It's Jerry Royster. It's a 7, tough, and it's a 92, tough 92. That's going to be in the out range. It's going to be a fly to left, and that's going to be runners are going to hold. That's the first. That's a second out, from what I'm seeing. It's a second out. So there's 2 outs now. Both runners are going to hold up, and it's Gary Matthews. Now Gary Matthews, I want to put into a sleeve because he's earned it. Here's the pitch from Coble to Matthews. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. It's a 4-2 Mets lead. And Benedict is at third. Frias is at first. So a double here would potentially score both. And that's wheelhouse. But we roll 66. That's pretty high against a lefty. It only goes to 48 on Matthews' card. So Coble gets out of this inning by the skin of his teeth. It's a ground ball, second base. Flynn flips to Montanez to retire the side. 4-2 lead for the Mets here in the top of the 6th inning. It's Eddie Solomon, the pitcher. He'll be facing John Stearns. And that's an 8. That's in play 23. And in play 23 is line base hit for Stearns. Stearns has potential to run. You're looking for 5 or less, and we rolled a double 6 again. And now Flynn is going to bunt. Flynn is a D bunter. A D is a sacrifice hit to the catcher, so it's going to be sacrifice bunt 2-4. It's real glary, man. I can't see my screen. Oh, there's better. Is that Al Red Sox fan? Yep. I can see it now. I turned it down a little bit. So Stearns, let's see what Flynn. Okay, Flynn lays one down. And lays down a sacrifice bunt. Stearns over to second base, so there's 1 out now. And the batter is going to be not Youngblood, but a pinch hitter. And against a righty, the Mets are going to bring in the always reliable Ed, Mr. Bronx Kranepool. The Bronx Tale was based on Ed Kranepool. All right, so Ed Kranepool is going to bat for Kevin Coble. And here's the pitch from Solomon with Stearns on at second base, only 1 out. And that's an 8 in play, an in play 60. And that's going to be popped up to the left side. And that's Royster calling for it. He makes the catch. 2 down. And now it's going to be Joe Youngblood. Here's the pitch from Solomon to Youngblood, and that's a tough 48. Tough 48 is going to be sharp liner that drops in front of the left fielder Burrows. Runner on second, advances only one base, but with 2 outs, he's going to go all the way home. So it's a 5-2 game now. RBI, 2-out RBI single by Joel Youngblood. And now Youngblood may run. See what he does. He needs something low, and that's not low enough. So Frank Taveras, the batter, against Eddie Solomon. Are we in the 7th yet? No, that's a 3. In play 82. In play 82 is an outrange, and that's ground ball, second base. And Frias takes it himself for the force. And that retires the side, but the Mets pick up another big run. They lead it 5-2. Now the Mets are on a 3-game winning streak. They swept the series with St. Louis. Yes, believe it or not. This will be on Ripley's Believe It or Not this Saturday at 7 p.m. Bob Horner. Bob Horner is 1 for 2. He's homered and grounded out. And it's going to be a new pitcher for the Mets. I'm glad I remembered I was going to continue to pitch Coble. And it's going to be Dale Murray. Dale Murray. I'm going to put Murray into the 9th slot. Let's see. I'm trying to read what you're saying. And holy. Okay, I'm trying to get you. You distracted me. Stop it. All right. I'm trying to put. Now I remember what I was trying to do. Dale Murray in the 9th spot. All right. And it's going to be Bob Horner. He's 1 for 2. We got to get a sleeve for Horner. Come on, this guy has a pretty good. He's pretty impressive when he came up. He's 22 here, and he hit 22 home runs versus right-handed pitching at bat at .334. Correct me if I'm wrong. This may be his first year in the majors. First or second. I mean, he's only 22, and back then, you didn't start playing in the majors when you're 18 years old. Usually, like you do now. Now by the time they're 18, they've been playing 19 years, already, since they were in pre-K ball or whatever. Before you can walk, you're playing baseball. All right, because there's so much money in it. Everybody's hoping to hit the lottery. Oh wait, the Horner didn't even bat yet. Okay, so Dale Murray in play 61, and Murray is a right-hander. 61. That's popped up to the right side, and that's Montanez there. We're using the modifier from Sideline Strategy on pop-ups and line drives. And so Burrows is patient on this pitch. And Burrows is going to walk. He's going to... All right, so Burrows is on at first. Barry Bonnell now. Burrows is not a threat to steal. No. 2 stolen bases. And that's in play 29. In play 29, and that's going to be against a righty. That's going to be a soft blooper into short left field. Runner on first advances 1 base. So walking a single and with 1 out, Murray is facing the potential tying run at the plate in Glenn Hubbard. Glenn Hubbard bats from the right side. Here's the pitch from Murray, and that's Snake Eyes tough, a tough 60. Tough 60 is going to be an outrange, and that's going to be a fly to right. Youngblood, he's there for out number 2. And now we go to Benedict. Bruce Benedict, first and second. And that's a 7. That's tough. A tough 45. Tough 45 is going to be outrange, and that's going to be a grounded to third. Hebner up with it. Goes the short way to second base, Flynn, and that's the force. 5-4. Okay, so that retires the side. We go to Mazzilli here in the top of the 7th. It's Solomon against Mazzilli. And Solomon would be a fatigue range now, and we're going to bring in a fatigue pitcher card. The minute he gives up, I kind of have a rule that the minute the fatigue pitcher comes in and 0 to 5, no, that he gives up a hit or two, then I already pull him, especially in a game that's still within reach. So I'm starting to play my online league now. So it's going to be Dynasty League. I have 3 separate teams there, 4 or more and 6 or more. It's got to be 4 or more and 6 or less. Yep, 4 or more and 6 or less. This is his card right here. Eddie Solomon is a fatigued pitcher now. Here's Lee Mazzilli, top of the 7th, 5-2 Mets, no outs. And that's a 4. That's patient. A patient. I'm gonna have to re-roll that one because I was cocked. Patient 40. Patient 40 is gonna be a base on balls, and that's gonna do it for the fatigue pitcher. That's all she wrote for him. So Solomon is pulled. Mazzilli's gonna try to steal while all this is going on. He does not. So they're gonna bring in to a lefty. They're gonna bring in Craig Skoke. I think it's Skoke. There's no E at the end there. But I'm not going to look it up right now. And Skoke seems more, PG than anything else. So let's call him Skoke for now. And it's going to be Richie Hebner. Lefty versus lefty. Here's the pitch from the southpaw, Skoke. And he is going to be batting 9th. Going to do that again. Offense 9. There we go. Here's the pitch to Hebner. Hebner's 2 for 3 today. And it's a 9. That's in play 72 and in play 72 against a lefty. That's going to be a fly ball center field. Barry Bonnell runs it down. Mazzilli back to first. 1 out. Willie Montanez, and that's ballpark 91. It's going to be wheelhouse. It's going to be outside the wheelhouse range, so it's going to be in play. It's going to be a 0-3, and that's going to be an opposite field line shot, and that's going to go into the corner. And Matthews after it. Around third to score is going to be Mazzilli, and into second base with a 1-out RBI double is Willie Montanez. 6-2. Mets are up. Now the Mets are going for their 4th straight win. And they just may do it. They're up 6-2 now here in the top of the 7th. We're going to have to plug in because we're running out of battery. We're out of battery life. We're going to plug in here. You may see the cord. I don't know. But you will. And let's see. Hopefully that's working. So 6-2 Mets lead here in the top of the 7th. And that's going to be all for Skoke. And they're going to bring in... Who are they going to bring in? Gene Garber. No, Gene Garber's their closer. They're not bringing in Gene Garber yet. They're going to bring in a guy named Adrian Devine. He's a right-hander. Adrian Devine. and he's going to pitch to Henderson with Montanez at second base. Here's the pitch to Henderson, and that's a 3. That's ballpark 27, so a righty is going to be 1-88. That falls within range, so we're in his wheelhouse against a righty. 1-13 is going to be long gone. See what happens here. And that's a 43. That's outside of range, outside of hit range, wheelhouse range, and into the pop-up range to the right side. Horner back, Matthews in, Barry Bonnell, and Glenn Hubbard makes the catch. And back to second goes Montanez. 2 outs now, and it's John Stearns. And that's a 6 in play, 43. It's going to be out range. That's popped up. Left side. Frias, Pepe Frias. Frias means cold. I don't know that he's cold. I have to check his stats. But he's coming to bat now. So that retires the side, and in the bottom of the 7th, the Braves are down by a score of 6-2, and Pepe Frias. Now Frias, Dale Murray's still in the game, and Frias batted .245 versus righties and .293 versus lefties. Respectable for that era. I mean, that's all that, and he didn't have many homers, not much power. He had 1 home run in a whole season of play. Second baseman, shortstops were really not expected to do too much. Nowadays, they're expected to have power and be, excellent fielders as well, I guess. Anyway, here's the pitch from Murray. That's a 10. That's patient, a patient 18, and that's going to be a line drive base hit for Frias. So Frias is 2 for 3. And it's Devine. Devine is going to, we're forced to pinch hit for Devine at this point in the game. There's no two ways about it. And we're going to bring in Roland Office, a lefty. So Office is going to pinch hit for Devine. Should have maybe pulled a double switch, but oh heck. Here's the pitch from Murray to Roland Office. And that's an 11. That's defense 84. It's going to be an out no matter what it is. We'll see what kind of, to whom, to shortstop, what kind of out. It's going to be a ground ball and advance. So 6-3, and Frias to second. And it's going to be Jerry Royster, the leadoff batter. He's 0 for 3. Here's the pitch from Dale Murray. That's a 7. That's a tough 38. Tough 38 is going to be a line drive into center field. Runner on second is going to advance 1 base. So Frias is going to stop at third. We have first and third now. And the tying run is now on deck. 6-2 Mets. 1 out. Bottom of the 7th. Braves have Gary Matthews at the plate. Jerry Royster is on at first. Pepe Frias is at third. Royster is definitely a threat to steal. And we're going to roll for that. And that's going to be a 9. He does not go, even though he would have been an 8. He would run. Oh, actually, it's a 4. Excuse me. A 4, he would go. All right, so Matthews. Here's the pitch. And that's a 4 in play 91. In play 91. It's going to be a ground. It's lined and caught by the shortstop, Taveras, for out number 2. And it's Bob Horner. Bob Horner homered earlier in the game. He's 1 for 3. Murray versus Horner here in the bottom of the 7th. And that's wheelhouse. And that's a deep drive to left field. Back goes Henderson to the track, to the wall. And Horner's got his second home run of the game. It's a 6-5 ball game now. And out comes Joe Torre. Murray wishes he had that pitch back. And Torre pulls Murray. And in from the dugout, in from the bullpen, here in the bottom of the seventh. It's a 6-5 ball game now after that Horner home run. We're looking for Neil Allen, and he's looking for his glove. Kind of misplaced it, and there he comes with his glove, ready to roll. Allen. We're going to have to pull a double switch here. So Allen comes in, Neil Allen, and we're going to bring in Hodges. Hodges is going to replace Stearns. Hodges is going to bat ninth. Hodges bats ninth, and then batting seventh is going to be the pitcher Allen in Stearns' spot. I finally figured out how to do this. It only took me 6 months. Yeah, and then it's going to be Allen there in that spot, and that's it. So double switch, and Neil Allen with nobody on, 2 outs, score 6-5. Bob Horner just hit his second home run of the game, a 3-run shot that has brought the Braves back within 1 run. And that's going to be a 6 tough, a 32, a tough 32. It's going to be a strikeout. So Burrow's down on the high heat. And it's Doug Flynn. Doug Flynn against new pitcher for the Braves. Now it's going to be Gerber because they're at home. So actually, who can I bring in besides Gerber? Williams. Mailer is there. You know what? I'm going to quickly take a look at. My crowd died on me. They're back. And it's going to be Garber, Nolan, Devine, Skoke, he pitched, Lum, Spikes, Cheney, pinch runner. Actually, you know what? I'm in the wrong game, so that's okay. That's all right. Let me go back, Martin. Let me go back here. Coble, and in this game it was Solomon, Garber. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna bring Garber. I can't do this any longer. Gene Garber is coming in the story. Gene Garber. Let's see. I may not even have him written in now. He hasn't pitched yet. Okay. Gene. Garber. It's a right-hander. Gene Garber was 6-16. Imagine that, a relief pitcher, your closer, 6-16 with 68 games pitched, 25 saves, 106 innings. Crazy. Whole different era, different way of using ball players. All right, so Garber's going to come in. Hopefully the game ends. I don't have to make any more changes. It's going to be Doug Flynn. And that's a 10. That's ballpark. A 59. A ballpark on a righty. 59 is wheelhouse. So wheelhouse against a righty here, it's 1-5. That ball's out of here. And that's a 59. Nowhere close to that. And that's popped up to the right side. Horner calling for it. Makes the catch. 1 away. And now we made a double switch earlier. Hodges. So Hodges, left-handed catcher, and that's an 11. That's in play 52, and in play 52. It's going to be a fly ball lifted to left field. Jeff Burrows, he's there. Makes the catch, 2 down. And it's Joe Youngblood. Pitch to Joe. Joe is 3 for 3 today. Single, walk, double, and a single. And that's defense. 68. If it's range, he has a chance here. 68. And and it is range. The shortstop. The shortstop would have to be an F, and I doubt Frias, who's been playing ball in Puerto Rico since he's 3 years old, is going to be an F range. He is not. He's a C. Okay, so Frias makes the play. What kind of an out is it to shortstop? It's just a ground ball. Frias throws him out, and that retires the side. So up for the Braves here in the bottom of the eighth against Neil Allen is going to be Barry Bonnell. It's a 6-5 Met lead. 11, that's ballpark. 0-6, excuse me, is going to be well within the wheelhouse range. So wheelhouse for Bonnell is 1-39 versus righties. This is trouble. This is trouble, Al. This is bad news right here for the Mets. 1-39, the game is tied. Deep drive to left field. Back goes Henderson to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. Game is tied. The curse has resumed. And Neil Allen wishes he had that pitch back. But guess what? He ain't getting it back. Barry Bonnell ties the game in the bottom of the eighth. Neil Allen is noticeably upset. You got to be more stoic than that, Neil. Come on now. 6-6, bottom of the eighth. Nobody on, nobody out. Glenn Hubbard. Hubbard's 2 for 3. Pitch from Neil. Patient 48. And that's a line drive base hit for Hubbard. It's his 3rd hit of the game. So Hubbard is on at first. And you know what? He may go, and he does. And no, he changes his mind. For him to go, we needed a 3. We rolled a 6 or something to that effect. So now we're going to get a bunt. Benedict is a B bunter. And that's a sacrifice hit back to the pitcher. Neil Allen looks at second, but it's not going to go there. So it's a successful sacrifice. 1-4 by Benedict. And Hubbard is now at second with the go-ahead run, and it's Pepe Frias. Pepe Frias seems like he just batted. But here he is again. It's been a crazy game. Neil Allen. Here's the pitch. And that's a 4. We dig in for that. Patient 62. A patient 62. Against a righty. It's going to be outrange. It's going to be ground ball second base. See what kind of runner Hubbard is. If he's a 7, he moves over. If not, he stays put. He stays put. He's a 6. So it's sharply hit to second base. 4-3. 2 out now. 2 out, and it's the pitcher spot. Wow. Okay, so once again, we're stuck in a situation where because we were too lazy to double switch, we are going to bring in a pinch hitter. Pinch hitter this time is going to be Charlie Spikes, right-hander. And this was Gerber was batting there. So Gerber's going to... Charlie Spikes. Do I have Charlie Spikes written in, or do I have to write him in? I have to write him in. What a name this guy's got. Charlie Spikes. Good name for a baseball player. All right, Charlie Spikes versus righties bat at 289. Here's a pitch from Allen. And that's a 9. That's going to be in play, an in-play 12. That's not good news, man. And that's going to be a long single into the gap in center field. That's going to score Glenn Hubbard. And the Braves are up 7-6. So Charlie Spikes with a pinch hit single against Neil Allen. And he's on at first with 2 outs. And next is Jerry Royster. Here's the pitch from Allen. And that's patient, a patient 29. That's going to be a base on balls. And you know what? That's it. Torrey's out. And he's done. And Neil Allen gets pulled. You're probably thinking, about time. Come on now. About time. It's Gary Matthews. Gary Matthews. We're going to see who we seeing. Who we seeing. Who we seeing. Wayne Twitchell. Wayne Twitchell. Coming in for the Mets. I'll give you his stats in a second. Not much of a pitcher. 5-3 with a 5.23 ERA. He's got to get one out here with runners on first and second. And that's a 9. That's tough. A tough 20. And Royster down on strikes. Goes after the high heat, the high cheese. Ate the cheese sandwich cold out of the fridge. Matthews strikes out. Strands 2. And we go to the top of the 9th. Last licks for the Amazons. Last licks for the Amazons. Gene Garber was pulled. So let's take a peek at who we can bring. Wow, we pitched almost everybody. And that means we're going to have to kind of search around here in the games before and the games after this one to see who was around. I'm going to the third game of this series, see who the Braves. Okay, Easterly McLaughlin's here. I'll show you all the cards I get. McLaughlin, there he is. I mean, you get tons of cards. Mailer. I got to look for Mickey Mailer. He's there too, look. Okay, if FedEx isn't on time, call Mickey Mailer. He'll get it to you. Lefty versus righty. We got Taveras, Mazzilli, switch hitter, Hebner. You know what? We're going to bring in Mailer. Mailer's just what the doctor ordered. He pitched in this series. He's 5-11 with a 5. So this looks good for us. Let's see what happens. Mailer's coming in. We're going to write him in. Mick Mailer. It's a lefty. All right, he's in the ball game. He's going to be facing Frankie Taveras. It's a 7-6. Come from behind. Braves lead here in the top of the 9th. This is last licks for the Amazons. Tough. 41. Against a lefty. Strikeout. Oh, my goodness. 42 to 53 would have been a hit. We rolled a 41. That's a strikeout versus a lefty. Look at that. All right, one out here for the Amazons. They're in trouble. They're down to their last 2 outs. Lee Mazzilli, they were leading this game 4-1, and then 5-2, and then 6-2. Then it was that bottom of the 7th 3-run shot by Horner, his second home run of the game. That made it a 6-5 ball game. And then it was a Bonnell home run in the bottom of the 8th that tied it. Wow. So the Braves have been scratching and clawing their way back into this game. Hey, you got to give it to them. They never gave up. And now it's Lee Mazzilli. Now Lee Mazzilli is the top Mets hitter, batting from the right side against a lefty Mailer. And that's a 4. That's a range play. A 20 range play. So it's range to who? Range to third base. Third baseman is Royster. Royster's range is an A. Look at that. I was not aware that Royster had that kind of range. I know he's fast, 35 stolen bases, 8 caught stealing, but an A range. Wow, that's going to haunt the Mets. But look, that's 1 to 26 is a hit under A range. We rolled a 20. See what kind of hit that is. We're looking for a double right here because it's down the line. We may get that. Oh, it's a single. Too bad. All right. Mazzilli on at first with a single. So he's the tying run. Now, let's look and see what kind of catcher Benedict is. Benedict is not a good catcher, so Mazzilli's going. So if we roll a 5 or less, Mazzilli tries to steal the base. and we roll the 7, so he does not. So Mazzilli's on at first, and it's Richie Hebner, the lefty. Here's the pitch from Mailer. It's a 7, a patient 53. And that's a hit by pitch. Hebner is plunked. That puts the tying run at second base. So Hebner's not happy about that. Not rubbing it, but he's not liking it. Willie Montanez. Willie Montanez, left-handed batter. He's 2 for 4. He's singled, lined out, flied out, and doubled. First and second, only 1 out. And it's Mick Mailer to Willie Montanez. Here's the pitch. And that's a 9. That's ballpark. 53 by a left-handed batter is wheelhouse. Versus a lefty, Montanez, 1-36. He's going to have some sort of hit. And we'll see if the game is tied. We'll see what kind of hit it is. So we need a 1-36 at least. 1-11. It's a 3-run shot. And we're getting ready to call it. It's a 26. 26 is a base hit single, grounder up the middle to center field. Runner on first advances 1 base. Runner on second scores. Game is tied. Willie Montanez, clutch. The Amazons are back. The Amazons are back. They tie up the game here in the top of the 9th inning. It's 7-7. The line scores 7 runs for the Mets on 14 hits, no errors, 7 left on base. For the Braves, 7 runs, 12 hits, no errors, 7 left on base. What a game, folks. What a game. All right, let's see. Let's go to the bullpen. For the Braves, who else were they using? Easterly. Let's see if we got Joey McLaughlin. Oh, is it Joey or Bo? I don't even know which one they use there. They're both relievers, so that I have to look into that. So then, because of that, let's see if I can find Easterly. Is Easterly in here? May not be in here. That's unusual, but may not be in here, so I'll just go in a different direction. So, let me see. Oh, you know, I figured out what I got to do to find out which McLaughlin it is. I just got to click on them. Yeah, I'm using, on my left, I got a laptop, 17-inch screen. Bo McLaughlin, that's who it is. So we're going to bring in Bo McLaughlin. He's going to, you may have to pull a double switch. No, not yet. Okay. Wow. Okay, Bo McLaughlin's coming in. He's a right-hander to pitch to Henderson, who pounds lefties at a 395 clip. So we definitely don't want to leave a lefty to face Henderson. Bo McLaughlin, I got to go out tonight. At 7, I got a varsity baseball game. My son's playing. And if they win this game, they'll play on Saturday. They'll win the tournament. And, okay. So Bo McLaughlin's in there against Steve Henderson now. There's only 1 out. Hebner's on at second. Montanez on at first. We may have to bring in a pinch runner for Hebner here. He's a 5 runner. So who do we have that can run? Chapman is a great runner. So we're going to bring in Chapman for Richie Hebner. Kelvin Chapman is going to run for Hebner. Let's see, pinch runner, Chapman. Oh, can Chapman play third base? Oh, that'd be great if he could. And I think he can. Yes. Oh, my life. My life is great now. So he's going to play third base. So we're gonna undo that real quick, and then we're going to redo it because, okay, pinch runner, and now we're going to pick Chapman. It's going to ask me, do you want him to be defensive replacement? Yes. Perfect. Perfecto. All right. So Chapman, who's got, above average base running quality. And it's not always speed. Sometimes you just score a lot of runs and they give you that special base running quality of a higher number. Not because you're fast, just because you were just scored a lot of runs, you're a good base runner, or you were in the right place at the right time. It's not basically speed. Okay, that's already factored in, I guess. They do it a little differently here. So anyway, all right. So here's the pitch from McLaughlin to Henderson. Chapman gets his lead off second. McLaughlin looks back there, and Montanez on at first. Here's the pitch. It's a 7. That's tough. A tough 0-4. That's going to be a strikeout. So Henderson goes after the cheese sandwich, swings through it, and that retires Henderson. 2 outs. And now it's going to be Twitchell, Wayne Twitchell. Twitchell's going to get pulled. Wow, this inning has gone on forever for a pinch hitter, and it's going to be. I don't even. Check and see who I used today. Let's see if did I use Ed Kranepool already? I did not use Ed Kranepool. Okay. Oh wait, I did not use Ed Kranepool. So Ed Kranepool is going to pinch hit. I felt like I did use Ed Kranepool. EK, he would be EK in here, and I do not see him in here. Let's see, J Youngblood, because everything's done by initials. So I did not use. Oh yeah, I did use Ed Kranepool. Okay, in the 6th inning. All right, good. I used Ed Kranepool. I don't think I used Bruce Beauclair. All right, so I didn't use Bruce Beauclair, and he's another lefty. Bruce Beauclair, I did not use Bruce Beauclair. So Bruce Beauclair is coming into pinch hit for Twitchell. All right, here's the pitch from Bo McLaughlin to the lefty Bruce Beauclair, who bats 184 versus right-handers. And that's a 3. That's defense. 45. This may do it. Range shortstop. So we know that Frias, Frias, what was Frias? Frias is a C. Range, that's 1 to 47. We roll the 45. Oh boy. So that's going to be a hit. And we're going to see what kind of hit it is to the shortstop. It's going to be a single. Runners advance 1 base. But this is the issue that I've had, and I've had this contradiction before. There's 2 outs. And I don't know that this should limit the extra base. Because with 2 outs, contact, they're going. And if you're a 6 or more, you get the extra base when there's 2 outs. So does that override the 1 star on the single, on the error? Because this is not specifying whether there's 1 out, 2 outs, or 3. This is a kind of generic result that can be overridden, like all other generic results, by the 2 out rule, that a 6 or better running ability player can take an extra base with 2 outs. So I'm going to say he scores and the Mets are up. I rule that he scores, Chapman scores on the error. And you know what? And this is an issue that I've had before, and I brought it up. And I'm not sure if I brought it up. Let's see what you say there. I think that I can't see squat, man. I don't know why. Can't see squat here. What you guys are saying for some reason. I'm at a bad angle. Let me move the camera forward and down a little bit here. I got an arm that reaches across my table, so I think I can have a better view now. So anyway, this is a situation here where, how do you resolve this situation? You don't want to just make it a 50-50 chance because one rule kind of, but again, let's just say that we're a single, a straight single, not a range single. Okay, going to contact, I agree with you. 2 out, going on. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. And let's just say it wasn't a range single, right? Where it's telling you, okay, runner only advances 1 star. Let's say it's not a range single and it's just a regular single. And it says advance only 1 base. And I'll show you what that looks like right here, right? Runner on second advances only 1 base, okay? All right. But with 2 outs, he gets the extra base. So therefore, I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe that when it says he advances 1 base, guess what? That means if there's 2 outs, let's see what you say there, house rule. Hey, this is the difference between the Mets winning 100 games and the Mets losing 100 games. Let's put things in perspective. So around comes Chapman, the pinch runner, to score. So it's a single. And Mets go up by a run. And Montanez, you see, Montanez is not going to get the extra base. Montanez is going to only stop because he is a 5. Okay? Montanez is a 5, so he doesn't get the extra. So he holds up at second. And Beauclair is on with a single. RBI single, pinch hit RBI single by Bruce Beauclair comes up huge in the clutch. Something you'd never expect. He's a 184 hitter. I love using those guys off the bench and having those guys show up, at a big moment. I love it because not everybody goes up there, and hits grand slams to win walk off the game. That's not baseball. That's once in a blue moon that happens. But in reality, it's the guys who are, they're fouling those pitches off. They're not in it for themselves. They may let a curveball go or a fastball go because it's a little bit on the outside, and they're trying to get, maybe get on base with a walk because they're leading off an inning. So they could have maybe gotten a hit, but they're like, you know what? That's outside. It looks like it's outside. It's ball 3. And now they're up, it's 3-0 now, and now they're in the driver's seat. They're trying to get on base to get a base runner on. There's a lot of things that guys sacrifice to do to contribute, and I think that's what baseball is about. It's like what we do in our community. We contribute to each other. We hang out and we chit-chat. Anyway, first and second, there's 2 outs. Top of the 9th, Mets have scored 2 runs. They're leading at 8-7. Bo McLaughlin is the pitcher for the Braves. He's 1-1 with a 4.89 ERA in 1979. And it's Doug Flynn. Now, Doug Flynn is 1 for 3. He's struck out, singled, sacrificed, and flied out. And he's a clutch player. He's got 23 RBIs on the season for a guy that hits in the 8th spot. And here's a pitch from McLaughlin. And that's a 10. A range check 47. Here we go again. Range. Oh, a defensive rare play. What? Another override. Okay, let's see what that means here. Defensive rare play. I'm going to pull this chart if I ever find it. I doubt I'm going to find it. Defensive rare play. Defensive rare play. Oh, here it is. Okay. Take a look at this. I don't know. I don't think anybody can see because there it is. All right. I think you can see a little bit better now. Let's try that. I got like 17 bulbs here. All right. Every time I click, 3 bulbs go on. All right. So use the chart whenever 0-0 is rolled when checking for an error or range play. This is good. So I'm going to roll 2d6. See what we roll. That's a 4. Infield pitcher makes great play on ground ball, but throws ball away. Batter safe at second. All runners score. C or a catcher or outfield catches pop short fly. Okay, I get it. So, do I pull a new card or do I go with the card that was there already? Oh, there was no. Okay, yeah, I got to pull a new card. Okay, it's going to be the shortstop. So it said infield makes a great play on ground ball, but throws the ball away. It's a two-base error. All runners score. All right, there you go. So the baseball gods speak. They say, don't worry about that other thing that happened. You did the right thing. It's a two-base error on the shortstop, Pepe Frias, who we were raving about earlier because he's been playing ball. He's been hitting pinto beans with a broomstick since he's 3 years old, like Robinson Cano. And he's going to throw it away. Let me cancel this whole thing because I don't even know what I did. Okay, error, shortstop, done. And it's going to be runner goes home, other runner goes home, and batter goes to second. 10-7. Mets have scored 4 runs here in the ninth. Doug Flynn is on at second, thanks to Pepe Frias throwing the ball away down the right field line. Gary Matthews had to retrieve it. And now it's Ron Hodges. Here's a pitch to Ron Hodges batting from the left side. Hodges is 0 for 1. He flied out. It's a patient 35. Patient 35. That's going to be a base on ball. So Hodges on with a walk. Hodges is not a threat to steal, so he won't be going, won't be rolling for that. Joel Youngblood. Youngblood's 3 for 4. And that's an 8 in play, an in play 86. And that's going to be grounded to short. Frias steps on the bag, and that finally retires the side. New pitcher for the Mets. It's going to be Lockwood, Skip Lockwood. Actually, I think Orozco. Any lefties coming up now? Let me see. I want to make sure Horner is not a... Nope. Okay, it's going to be Bob Horner. Now, Horner's got 2 home runs today. He's 2 for 4 against Skip Lockwood. Now, Lockwood is the best pitcher for the Mets. He was 2-5 with a 1.49 ERA, 9 saves in 27 games. So I don't use him often. I try to use him only when I see his name, like in a series, because then it'll throw off the stats. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to use guys like I won't use a guy if I know a guy is not a good has a terrible ERA. I'll still use him in clutch situations, in crucial situations, because during the season you don't know that he's going to be terrible. I mean, at this point in the season, I don't know because I haven't looked it up. I could find out. He could have had a 0.00 ERA and later gotten bombed maybe in the last week of the season where his ERA climbed to 5. Who knows? So anyway, I try to use the guys that were actually used at that time. And when they do great, a lot of times they do. Like Twitchell got us out of the inning, and his ERA is like 6. So that's what I like about baseball. It's that one guy who's shows up unexpectedly, and all of a sudden he performs. So it's Skip Lockwood on the mound, Bob Horner batting, bottom of the ninth, 10-7 Mets. This is going to be their 4th straight victory if they can hold on. In play 33. I looked at the wild pitch. Anytime I see those 30s, it's a 30. So 33 is above that. So it's in play 33, and that's going to be a base hit versus a righty. So Horner with his 3rd hit of the game. On at first, these Braves won't give up. Jeff Burrows bats right-handed. That's a 6. That's tough. A tough 92. And that's going to be ground ball shortstop. We rolled a 6. That's going to be double play on Lockwood. It's going to be double play on Burrows. It's going to be Taveras to Flynn to Montanez. 2 away. Beautiful double play. Turned by the Mets shortstop, middle infielder, second baseman. And the Mets are 1 out away from winning their 4th straight. This attests to my ability as a master manager on tabletop baseball. If I can win one more game than the 66 that I think the Mets won, I believe I deserve, manager tabletop year. I should be considered for that. All right, it's Barry Bonnell. Barry Bonnell's 2 for 4. There's 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Mets are up 10-7. It's been a crazy game that's lasted forever. I think I started at 2 o'clock. It's 3:46. And here's the pitch to Barry Bunnell. That's a 5. A patient 67, and that's going to do it. Lockwood picks up a save. 67, ground ball, second base. Flynn flips to Montanez, and that'll do it. Game over. Finally, the Mets have won 4 in a row. At one point in the season, the Mets were no problem, guys. At one point in the season, the Mets had lost 11 consecutive games. Okay, yes, I suffered through that. I was a victim of that abuse and suffering. Yeah, pretty good game, bro. Pretty good game. All right, I think Twitchell got the win. Actually, Wayne Twitchell showed up big time. He's the guy that got us out of that crazy Neil Allen inning when Neil Allen just basically lost it. Twitchell came in as 5.50 or something like that, and ended up getting us out of that inning. Skip Lockwood gets a save, and the losing pitcher is Mick Mailer, I believe, right? Mick Mailer. I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure it was. And that's it. And the line score on this, the Mets, 10 runs, 15 hits, no errors, 9 left on base. The Braves, 7 runs, 13 hits, 1 error, and 7 left on base. Final score, Mets 10, Braves 7. What a great game. This is Combat Painter saying adios from 1979. Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. It's a great hitter's park, guys. A great hitter's park. Wheelhouse 1-88. Get payoff pitch, play a couple of games in this park, and have a blast. 1-88 for right-handers, 1-74 for left-handers in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, 1979. I'll see you guys around. I'll be surfing and checking out the rest of you guys playing games. I listen most of the time. I've been listening to them in my car. When I go to work, it takes me 40 minutes. When I come back, 40 minutes. I can listen to 2 games a day. So I'm looking for all the games that I like. A lot of you guys I know are doing car racing and a lot of cool stuff. I'm just not into that. I'm a one-dimensional guy. All right, so I